See, I'm going to have to beat this kid up now. Man, oh man. Go. This is the problem with kids. I tell you what, this is the problem with kids. They come and ruin your podcast. Yeah, they come and ruin your podcast. They forget that daddy knows things. Yeah, is my hand sweaty? Yeah. What do you know? Get out of here. Okay. Get out of here, you punk. See, this is, man, why did I choose to homeschool? What the heck was I thinking? Go. Get out of here. Man, oh man. For those of you just listening, you should have totally been in here as my son is trying to steal my headphones out of my head. Rascal. But no, I love being able to have him be able to, and I think I told you before we started recording, having him just kind of come in and say hello to me once in a while breaks up my day. And one thing I don't think I did tell you on our pre-call was like when I was in the military, I was traveling a lot for various different things. And one day Adam came running up to me. It was before we even had our second kid, and he came running up to me crying, "But daddy, don't leave again," when I was in the middle of all my travels. And I was literally just going to take the trash out. And to me, that was always that's a story that I love to be able to tell to folks who think that they're doing the right things, that think that the travel they're doing or the business that they're doing is the right thing, the right decision. Like, no, I'm doing this for my family. I was earning a decent paycheck. I was traveling around the world. I was, doing good for the world, quote unquote. Which, boy, let's not travel down that road. That'll be an interesting conversation if I talk about the doing good for the world with everything I've done in my life, right? So, and now it's like, okay, what if I'm really doing stuff for my family? And it was Ryan Pineda I heard recently talking about it too. He's like, a bunch of business owners, like they're out there doing the same thing. Like they're burning the midnight oil. They're constantly working. They're working 14, 15 hours a day for their family, quote unquote. Right? Like if you never see your family, are you really doing it for your family? Like, what's the point? So now I just try to take advantage of the fact that they come in the house, and that's one of the reasons I started homeschooling as well. Is like you come into my office, I want to be able to teach you, I want to be able to support you, I want to be able to do like you were saying. I want the school system is not teaching him the way I want to teach him. He's working, quote unquote, 45-hour weeks for school. Like when is he a kid if he's working 45 hours a week for school? Like I don't understand. Like and now I've got him working 3 hours a day. And he's getting a good education. He's understanding where he's at. He was able to go on the trip to Philadelphia with me. He was able to go travel places with me. Like it just doesn't. I want to be able to take advantage of every one of those moments. So that's one thing that I've told a couple people after the podcast, because I like to always ask like what I could do better on the podcast. And one of the things I told somebody is like maybe less interruptions, because my last podcast recording they came in a lot, and it's like maybe I should just get them to come in less often. And the guy was like, I would never tell you to stop doing that. Like that's part of why you're doing what you're doing. And it's, I absolutely love it. And now he's just standing here staring at me. Exactly. I do business as a dad here at the house. So it's, it's part of the process. But yeah, to go back to the golf thing.
LinkedIn they said, because I wrote something today about what money can't buy, right? And they were like, well, what if you're an entrepreneur and you're able to invest in someone to help you get to something faster, right? For your income or whatever you're going to create. So now you're not working as many hours versus entrepreneur B that needs to put in all these extra hours. And I'm like, well, entrepreneur B doesn't really truly have his values aligned with, if he truly wants to be with his family and spend time with them, there's no amount of money that you're going to go chase to go be with your family. You have false values. Yeah. You're lying to yourself. Like saying that family is important to you when you're not truly making the decisions every day in your calendar and your bank account that has to relate to families. And come on, like your values aren't aligned. You're missing, right?
Yeah, when I first started getting in the business side of the house, I created all these goal sheets and where I wanted to be, and I back built how many doors I needed to be able to get the amount of income that I wanted, to be able to build this life that I wanted. Never once talked to my wife about what this life was going to be like. It was just a life that I created based off of what I always felt like I was missing in my life, or what I felt like was going to be the thing. And then, I'm talking to my wife, and like none of that meant anything to her. Like it was just like I wasn't trying to build anything with her. I was trying to build what I thought was going to make sense. And then even then we started having kids, I had to really scrap it all. Like it didn't matter, how many millions I'd make. it mattered how many times I was able to bring the kids on a trip, or how many times I was able to tuck them in at night, or how many how many times my shoulder was there for them to cry on. Those were the things that I should be having on that list, and they never were. And they're still, I mean, technically, right, they're still not, but they're always in my brain now on how well I'm able to be present with my kids and where I'm at with that. Because to me, it's so much more important. Again, I don't want to act like they're important. I want to show them that they're important. I want them to know that they're important to me. And having those values aligned, yes, you may not, reach the financial stature that you wanted to. You may not, there's a guy that I know that he was passing on some very sage wisdom. He's worth a few $100 million, and he was passing on some advice to us about growing up with your families and doing the things, and how it did not go as smoothly with his kids as he wanted them to, because he was so busy chasing everything, thinking he needed to do this and needed to excel in that and needed to grow his net worth by this and needed to build that. And he lost a lot of the time with his family that he fully regrets now, and he was one of those guys that, again, if you had to do it all over again, he said that he would definitely change a lot. He would not chase nearly the amount that he was chasing. He's like, yeah, sure, it's great to have now, but at what expense, And those types of conversations were the kind that slapped me in the face and go, you know what? Like, fix yourself, fix your thought process on this. I'd rather live in a 2,000 square foot house with my family than live in a 5,000 square foot condo with nobody around. And
I know for me in my life, it's easier for me to go work.
Yeah,
that's the easy thing for me. Like, that's the place that I excel in. Like, that's the easy place. Like, for me to go show empathy and be self-aware with my daughter, with my wife, to listen and not tell them what to do, all these things, like, where I have to be vulnerable, and, those are all difficult things for me to do. Right? Those are not like I told you at the beginning of the podcast, like I ran on, like, I don't care about anybody in the world. Right. So I've had to and that's easy for me to go do, like, going and blaming everybody else for everything that bad happens in your life, and just running across the world, just chasing money and fame and whatever, greed, all these different things. Those are a lot easier to deal with, not having to accept who you are as a human is a lot easier to handle. Right. And that's why we go and do it. Right. And then we justify it and say we're doing it so we can give our family more. And I know my wife, I have a wife that grew up on dirt floors, with no running water. Right. So her whole life was like, just, do we have food and a roof over our head? So that's a mentality we have with each other. It's like, we have food and a roof over our head, man. We are so winning and blessed every single day. Like, let's not go outside of that, right? Like, don't go buy another car. Don't add more debt to our life. Don't do any of these things that are going to create it so that we have to be not with each other as much on a daily basis, so that we can have a bigger house or, go on more vacations. I'm like, I live in Costa Rica. I don't ever need to go on vacation again, personally. I'm totally cool with going to the beach here, playing golf here, and staying in a Marriott every once in a while around the corner.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that is where a lot of people go to vacations, and then you just get to live there and enjoy it. So, the material things. I still definitely have some things on my list of things I'd like to buy, but it's I'm doing everything I can, and maybe I'm just making this up myself, to give myself a reason why I should want these things. But I have a very strong goal that is going to succeed at, is buying my airplane. I was going to buy it last year, and then we ended up moving to Florida and buying a house and doing the thing. So that shifted, and then I was going to get it this year, and some real estate stuff, and blah, blah, blah. I'm coming up with excuses and why I haven't bought it yet, but I'm going to buy an airplane. Is that a material thing? For sure. Is that a thing that I put on my list before I had a conversation with my wife? Absolutely. But but I'm a pilot. I love to be able to travel with my family. It's like, all right, well, I just put you guys in the plane and let's go fly somewhere. Let's go enjoy our life. Like, to me, it's a tool to go enjoy life together. But finding that balance between what I'm doing that is what I'm justifying myself as a reason why I should get it versus like the actual reasons to get it. The same thing to like, why am I working all these hours? Is to support my family. Well, I think you're supporting your family much more by being there than you are by working all those hours. Am I succeeding in the goals? Am I just making up a reason why I want this material thing versus actually, is that actually why you want this material thing? Or is it because you were never able to have that when you were younger, or whatever the reason might be that I make up for myself? I don't know, but I'll pause for conversation on that for a minute.
No, yeah. I mean, I think as long as it's not going to make you have to go work more and lose the balance of the time that you have, then why not?